Welcome back. In this video, we are going to be concerned with the switching from one active player to another one. Let's see here, we already know that whenever the player rolls the 1, so we go to the else block. If the dice is not equal 1, we roll the dice. The dice is not equal 1, then this block will be executed. Or if the dice is equal 1, then goes to else block. And also here if we roll a 1, that all of the score should be 0 and then goes to next player. And in the previous lecture we implemented this functionality of adding dice to the current score only it is only for the player 1, that is here the current 0th element only. Now we need to make this to the another player also. So we need to be track of which player is actually the current player. Now let's write here, let giving active player. Here I am assigning the value initially 0. Here I am using array for both the players to store the value. So let's write here, I'm giving const scores is equal giving array. Initially I am giving 0. These values are the actually the both players scores that we have assigned initially. Now let's write here in block document dot get element by id, and then here using templates is current. In both the players we have the current dash dash. So writing this and then here dollar, and now in this dollar we are selecting the active player. And then now I need the text then that is equal current score. Let's remove this. We don't want this because we have assigned for both the persons. Now here when we switch the player, we then need to change that value from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 0. So let's do that. Here active player equal, here we are using ternary operator. We can say that if active player is 0, active player is equal 0, 1, 0. So in this statement, we are reassigning the active player. So this is the result of the whole operation. If the result will be 1, so then active player will equal to be 1. If this is false, then the active player will become 0. So essentially this allows us to switch from 0 to 1. So let's reload and check here. So remember that when we roll the dice that we are in player number 1. Let's roll a dice. So 3 added to this current score, that 0 should be changed to 3, and then next 4 that is added to this 3, so that score will be 7, and then 12. Now let's wait for 1 so that we can switch the player. Now let's dice again. So here we got 1. So we have to switch the player. So the player switched. Now we are in player 2, but here the 5 is added to this person's score that should be displayed in player 2. So with this here we have an error and we need to reset the current score. Now let's set this current score should be 0. Refresh. Now let's write here current score, assigning the value 0, and then here copy this text, paste here, and then here assign the text content value also 0. Now let's reload, roll the dice, reload. When we get 1, the current score should be 0. Let's take again, roll dice. It switched to player 2, but it is not highlighting that the background color that is same for this player 2 also when the active player is here, but the background color is not changing. So it is showing that he is the active player. So let's roll 0 and then now roll. The current score is 5, 9, 11. Now for rolling dice as 1, it is working correctly. Now let's do this active player's background color. So let's go for HTML and then here in this section class player, player 0 and then player active. So this is for this player 1. Here we have that player 1 is active mode. So the color is here, the background color is visible like this. But here we don't have this player active. So this is not visible here. Now what we want to do here is we want to remove this player active class name from this section and we need to place here in this player 2, that is here in this player 1 section. So let's do that. First we will start by selecting these two players. Let's write here it's starting const player 0th element document.query selector, then give the name as dot player 0, this right, player 0 and then the player 1. Same this for player 1 also. Change this. Okay, it's done. Now I will show you another method that's available on the class list property. Let's write here player 0 element dot class list. As of now, we have seen that add and remove. Now we are using here the toggle. Let's write this toggle. So this toggle is it will add the class if it is not there, and so if it is there, it will remove it. That's why we are using toggle by checking if the class is there and only removing if it is. Now let's simply write here player active. That's the class name here, this player active. And then after doing this, if we do that on both, then it will work. Let's write for player 2 also. Copy and then paste. So it is because on player 0, it will remove the class if it is there. And if not, it will. And the same thing on the other player also. Now give a save and then check here. Oh, it is moved to player 2. And then, so with this, it is very clear and it is working perfectly. So this is all about the session. We will see you in the next video, that this hold button. Hope that you are having an idea about doing all these. We'll catch you in the next lecture. Thank you.